Have you ever stopped to think about what truly makes a person quietly extraordinary as they grow older? It's not about how much money they have in the bank, the status they've achieved, or even the lucky breaks they've had in life. The truth is, once you reach your mid 60s and beyond, there are specific inner qualities that can make you more cherished than gold. These traits, when nurtured, create a kind of presence that draws others in. They make people admire you, respect you, and genuinely enjoy being in your company. But here's the surprising part. Most people overlook these priceless qualities entirely. As time goes on, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily life or to feel like you're slowly fading into the background. But the reality is there's a quiet kind of power in aging, one that emerges when you focus on the right things. In this video, we're going to explore 6 deeply impactful qualities that have nothing to do with outward appearances or material success. Instead, they have everything to do with your mindset, your values, and the way you show up in the world. These are not things you're either born with or not. They're skills, habits of the heart and mind that anyone can develop at any stage in life. Whether you're 65 or 85, it's never too late to become the kind of person whose mere presence brings calm, hope, and inspiration to others. And trust me, the final one on this list is something that most people only come to appreciate when it's already slipped through their fingers, so stick around until the end. Now, if you've ever found yourself wondering how to remain relevant, respected, or even just seen as you get older, this is for you. These 6 qualities will not only help you stand out quietly but powerfully, they'll also bring a deep, lasting sense of peace and fulfillment to your own life, something far more valuable than anything money can buy. Let's begin. 1. The power of remaining calm in a chaotic world. One of the most transformative qualities anyone can cultivate as they age is the ability to remain calm, no matter what life throws their way. It's a kind of inner peace that doesn't come from pretending everything is fine or sweeping problems under the rug. It comes from experience, perspective, and a deep understanding of what truly matters. This kind of calm doesn't shout. It doesn't dominate the room. Instead, it reassures others with quiet strength. It makes people feel safe just being around you. And as you grow older, this kind of presence becomes more valuable than ever. Think about it. Life after 65 often includes more challenges, health scares, the loss of loved ones, changes in routine, or even a sense of uncertainty about the future. While some let these experiences harden them or leave them anxious, others become grounded, wise, and more centered than ever. Consider someone like Harold, a 74-year-old retired firefighter. He never raises his voice, never seeks attention, but his steady presence speaks volumes. His friends seek him out for advice, not because he always has the answers, but because he listens without judgment. His grandchildren adore talking to him because he takes their worries seriously, no matter how small. And his wife. Even after decades of marriage, she still feels comforted by his ability to keep them steady through life's storms. This kind of calm isn't about being passive, it's about discernment. It's about knowing when to speak up, when to hold space, and when to let go of things that simply don't matter in the long run. Calm people don't explode over every disagreement. They don't obsess over what others think. They understand that most conflicts aren't worth the emotional toll. In a world full of noise, the calm soul stands out like a lighthouse in the fog. Their serenity is contagious. They bring perspective when others are panicking. And perhaps most importantly, this inner calm doesn't just help others, it helps you. It lowers your stress, strengthens your relationships, and allows you to enjoy your days more fully. If you've ever known someone like that, you understand the power of this trait. And if you work on developing it within yourself, you'll soon find that your value isn't in what you do, but in the peace you bring just by being you. 2. A lifelong curiosity that never grows old. Another incredible trait that makes someone quietly unforgettable in their later years is a sense of wonder that never fades. Unfortunately, many people assume that curiosity is something reserved for the young, that learning new things or exploring unfamiliar ideas has an expiration date. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the most inspiring older adults are the ones who never stop asking questions. They stay mentally agile and emotionally alive by continuing to learn, discover, and grow. These are the people who remain vibrant well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, not because of their physical health, but because of their attitude. They read books outside their usual comfort zone. They talk to people of different generations. They embrace new technology, not because they have to, but because they want to understand the world they live in. Take Evelyn, a 76-year-old former school teacher. She could have easily slipped into a quiet routine of familiarity, watching the same shows, having the same conversations, sticking to what she already knows. But she made a different choice. Evelyn regularly picks up new hobbies, reads thought-provoking articles, and listens, really listens, when young people share their ideas. Instead of saying, "That's not how it used to be," she says, "Tell me more." She's become a magnet for meaningful conversations and deep connection. Curiosity doesn't just keep the brain active, it keeps the soul alive. It prevents boredom, builds bridges between generations, and turns every day into an opportunity for discovery. The most cherished older adults are not the ones stuck in their ways. They are the ones who adapt, evolve, and keep reaching for new understanding. They remain open-hearted, and in doing so, they inspire everyone around them. If you've ever met someone like Evelyn, you've felt that spark, the sense that life is still full of magic. And if you nurture that curiosity within yourself, you'll never feel irrelevant. In fact, you'll feel more engaged with life than ever before. 4. A presence that feels like home. There's a quiet kind of magic in people who, simply by being themselves, bring comfort and ease to those around them. After the age of 65, this becomes one of the most powerful and underrated traits a person can develop: the ability to make others feel calm, seen, and accepted. This isn't about being the most talkative in the room or always trying to entertain. In fact, it's usually the opposite. It's about cultivating a calm, welcoming presence, one that says, "You're safe here," without needing to say anything at all. These individuals don't attract attention with flashy words or dramatic energy. They draw people in through their warmth, their patience, and their ability to listen without judgment. Their presence is healing, reassuring. It's the kind of presence people seek when the world feels overwhelming or cold. They don't try to fix others or preach to them. They simply hold space, offering quiet encouragement, soft smiles, and genuine understanding. Take Joan, for example, a 75-year-old retired nurse. She doesn't command rooms or dominate conversations, but people naturally gravitate toward her. Her energy is gentle, sincere, and deeply calming. She listens not just with her ears, but with her heart. When she speaks, her words are thoughtful and kind, never rushed or self-centered. And when she listens, she does so fully, not waiting for her turn to talk, but giving people the feeling that their words are truly valued. People like Joan don't crave attention. They don't need to be the center of everything, and yet their presence is unforgettable. Why? Because in a world that often feels hurried and transactional, they offer something rare: a moment of peace, of true connection, of kindness that asks for nothing in return. This kind of presence shows up in subtle ways. It's in the warm smile given to someone who looks unsure, in the ability to let others fully express themselves without interruption, in the quiet act of offering a compliment, remembering a name, or simply sitting in silence with someone who needs it. These aren't grand gestures, but they leave a lasting imprint. Long after a conversation has ended, people remember how they felt, heard, valued, and accepted. And that feeling lingers. That's what makes this quality quietly more precious than gold. It's not rooted in wealth or charm, but in heart, and the beauty of it. It only grows stronger with time. As we age, we gain the kind of emotional intelligence that makes this presence possible. We stop needing to prove ourselves, and we begin to understand that what people need most isn't perfection, it's kindness. If you've ever met someone whose presence made you feel instantly at peace, you know how rare and special that is. And if you cultivate this within yourself, you become someone people remember. not for what you have, but for how you made them feel. 5. Finding joy in life's simple gifts. One of the quietest yet most profound signs of a truly fulfilled life after 65 is the ability to find joy in simplicity. This doesn't mean you've settled or stopped dreaming. It means you've learned that real happiness doesn't come from chasing grand achievements or flashy experiences. It comes from noticing, appreciating, and savoring the small, beautiful details of daily life. People who are quietly more precious than gold have mastered this mindset. They understand that life's richest moments often come without fanfare. A warm cup of tea enjoyed slowly in the morning sun. A familiar song that stirs memories. Laughter shared with a friend during a quiet walk. Let's take George, an 80-year-old retired carpenter, as an example. He doesn't have a mansion or a luxurious car. He doesn't spend his days trying to impress anyone, but he is content, deeply content. When he walks through his neighborhood, he notices the way the light dances through the trees. When he eats a home-cooked meal, he pauses to savor each bite. When he chats with his old friends, he laughs, not distracted by yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's worries, but fully immersed in the now. There's a certain kind of wisdom that comes with this, a freedom. Because when you stop needing life to be spectacular all the time, you begin to realize that it already is, in the quiet, in the ordinary, in the deeply human experiences we so often overlook. Unfortunately, many people miss this. As they get older, they focus on what's missing. They dwell on regrets. They compare their lives to others, convincing themselves that happiness is something left behind in their youth. But the truth is, the most precious people, the ones who shine with a quiet light, are those who have learned how to make the present moment enough. They don't waste energy on what they cannot change. They don't let little inconveniences steal their peace. Instead, they choose joy again and again in the most everyday of ways. This doesn't mean they pretend everything is perfect. It means they train their minds to look for the good, even on hard days. It means they understand that life is not about waiting for big defining moments. It's about how you live in the spaces in between. 6. An unshakable sense of self-worth. As we grow older, something extraordinary can happen, if we let it. We can develop a deep, unshakable sense of self-respect, a quiet inner knowing of who we are, what we stand for, and what we deserve. This kind of confidence isn't loud or boastful. It doesn't come from approval or applause. It's forged over time, through life's ups and downs, and it becomes one of the most precious things a person can carry. Too many people spend their younger years bending to others, trying to please, to fit in, to be liked. But those who become quietly more precious than gold are the ones who eventually realize their worth doesn't need to be proven. It doesn't need to be explained. It simply is. Take Louise, a 78-year-old former librarian. For most of her life, she prioritized everyone else's needs before her own. She said yes when she wanted to say no. She felt guilty for resting. But as the years passed, she began to understand. Her time and energy are sacred. Her happiness matters too. Now Louise sets boundaries without guilt. She makes choices that honor her peace. She doesn't seek validation, and she never apologizes for putting herself first. As a result, she's earned something far more valuable than attention. She's earned respect. Self-respect doesn't mean you dismiss others. It means you no longer shrink to make others comfortable. It means you set standards for how you deserve to be treated, and you don't lower them just to be accepted. When someone carries themselves with this kind of dignity, others feel it. It's in their voice, their presence, their calm refusal to tolerate disrespect. They don't need to explain their worth. They live it. Sadly, many people let their self-worth fade as they age. They start to believe that growing older makes them invisible, that they must stay quiet, take less, ask for little. But in reality, age should deepen your self-respect, not diminish it. Because with age comes wisdom, experience, perspective, and the ability to stop living for other people's approval. When you respect yourself truly and deeply, the world takes notice. You become someone who doesn't need attention to feel valuable, someone whose worth is written in how they carry themselves, not in how others perceive them.